5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Cleaners Have Spoken. My name is Joel, that's my brother Michael. We just watched the season finale of season 46 of Survivor and we're here to talk about it. Michael, how are you feeling right now? Another season comes to a close. Another interesting winner pick.
I've never hated the post-Final Tribal Council reunion show so much. The novelty is completely gone. Why must Charlie be sitting there, subjected to such torturous talk, to find out about his betrayal by Maria in that moment right there, and to have Maria sitting behind him smiling about it?
Yeah.
I'm happy for KENZIE. Great winner.
Love KENZIE.
So this is a pro KENZIE podcast.
Yes.
But man, I feel for Charlie after that.
It's just so tough because, and it's surprising because they showed us so much Charlie throughout the season, right? Like, I think it's interesting because us at home, we saw so much Charlie strategy the whole way. Like last week we were sitting on here like, wow, Charlie has like a, 70%, 80% chance to win, going forward. Because like we've seen so much votes that like, if he went, he could go this way or the other way. And we see his logic of options. And I don't know if the jury saw all of that in the moment. Like, do you think it's more of a, they didn't really see his game and understand it that well? Or is it a, no, like we genuinely think KENZIE won the game with her gameplay?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think Charlie was viewed more as Maria's sidekick. And I think that he let Maria own that impression throughout the game because he didn't want his threat level to be high because he wanted to make it to the end.
Right.
But I didn't really feel like he articulated that well enough. I think if he went back to now and he wouldn't be so worried about getting Maria's vote, now in hindsight, he would have maybe said, you know what? I was the one driving Maria and I's votes. Like, I was the one doing that work, and he would have taken more credit for that type of thing. I don't know. I don't know how Charlie wins if he didn't, the way that Charlie wins, in all honesty, is to win the Final Four immunity challenge and put KENZIE and Ben in, and maybe Ben wins fire, or beat KENZIE and fire himself.
Which is so interesting.
Dude, it's like literally every single new era season, the second place person has basically had the opportunity to put themselves in fire and knock out the eventual winner, but instead they have shirked it or not wanted to go into it, whether they won the immunity and didn't go, or whether they didn't want to be in it, like Charlie basically said to Ben, please don't put me in it. Charlie could have whipped up a fire much quicker. That's a move for him. Like, if Charlie makes fire, does Charlie win? That's why the Final Four fire making challenge is stupid.
Because it's the last thing that people see. It's recency bias. And I think that, to me, my takeaway, like, I was talking with Madeline earlier today, and I was like, literally, the whole season of Survivor is like, the jury makes the decision, and Charlie said it tonight. KENZIE's the winner. The jury voted the way they did, And there aren't really any stipulations on it. Like, I'm not really sure that Charlie would have won if he was in the fire making, which, by the way, he didn't really control if he was in it at all. You know? And like, I think it's interesting. Maria says, I saw the fire in her eye, and I think that she's going to use the money well. And that's her logic for giving KENZIE $1 million when she has played the whole. That's like, if Charlie's not going to get that vote, like, I felt so bad for Charlie in that moment, because if Jeff asked me how I was doing, I'd say I'm pissed. Like, yeah. I've been like, I'm pissed. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. You know, my life is fine. But that sucks. No, like, getting blindsided in a final tribal like that.
He shouldn't have to, like, couch that at all. Like, he should have said, Maria, you lied to me. You said you would vote for me at the end, and you're the reason that I lost.
Yeah.
You said you would vote for me, and you're the reason that I lost. This is ridiculous, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And honestly, if he had said that, he would have had stands forever online.
Yes, he also would have had enemies. So I get why he didn't say that. But like, in that moment, I think it's like, I would have been really mad. I would have been really mad.
Yeah, like, it was pretty clear Charlie was really, like, overcompensating, trying to, like, praise KENZIE and, like, keep it together, and, like, to hug KENZIE and Ben after the final vote. Like, dude, you don't have to do that. If you want to flip the log over and be mad, like, you should do that. And, like, it's stupid that we keep putting second place people in this position where now all of a sudden there's this social pressure. I assume social pressure from Jeff. I think Jeff probably wants it to go like that of, hey, if you lose, like, you need to put on a brave face for this stupid post-game show that we're going to do. Just give the people, like, it's okay if you read the votes there, but, like, you know, give it some months before you, like, bring everybody together and, like, let him figure out Maria is the one that didn't vote for him, like, in a different way. Because when Jeff says, raise your hand if you voted for Charlie, the first person he looked at was Maria, assuming she would have for sure been raising her hand.
Yeah.
And then she's, like, sitting back there just smirking about the whole thing.
2 days earlier, he voted her, you know, a day after she voted him, right? And in the voting booth, he said, hey, future nephews, your mom is, you know, cool. I'm paraphrasing. But your mom is, like, really cool. And to have that person that, like, you've talked about that kind of stuff with and feel that close to just backstab you like that, and then have to sit there for, like, probably like 2 or 3 hours with her right there, and you just lost $1 million.
Yeah. Charlie is completely within his rights. If he goes on the, like, post-game shows like that all the players do tomorrow, if he goes on there and says, I'm still mad at Maria and I haven't spoken to her since.
Yeah, but he won't. He won't.
He would be well, like, justified in that. Because that is disgusting behavior from Maria, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
to just to do that to person you're acting like is your best friend, to lie and say that you're gonna vote for them and then not the one vote they're counting on. He didn't do anything in Final Tribal to disparage Maria or her. In fact, he gassed her up. He once again gassed up her accolades in Final Tribal, and it's just, oh my goodness. Like, we need to move on and talk about KENZIE, but I mean, poor Charlie, man. Goodness.
To me, Maria had, like, this arc this season where like I was like, she started out so high. Like I picked her to win. And I really liked her. But then like once the merge hit, it was just kind of like, oh, Maria's showing parts of her that I'm like, these seemed like pretty high on ego. And like, you know, I think that probably played into it. But then it's like, you can't think I'm the biggest threat out here. And I've played every step of this game with Charlie. He's been my partner. And not think that he also played the best game out here. Like, to me, those don't mesh. And I guess her logic is like, oh, yeah, well, that's not what I voted for. Which, I mean, yeah, I guess that's your right. But that's just shocking. It's shocking to, like, not vote for the person that you've been on the island with for 24 days. That you have made every vote for with until you decided to blindside him. Yeah.
And you weren't even able to blindside him because he's a better Survivor player than you are. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, she's well within her rights to vote for whoever she wants. And I don't hold that against her. I'm not saying like it was an illegal move or dirty or that Charlie deserved to win. That's just cold. It's insanely cold. I really think that the editors want us to like Maria. No, thank you. Like the way that they got that score going when she got voted out, as if they were voting out like Martin Luther King Jr. or someone off the island. Like, no.
The standing ovation was crazy. The standing ovation was crazy. She got like the Cerie send-off. Like, the only other person in the new era that I feel like I've seen that from is like Shan, right? Or the edit went kind of crazy, but like people didn't even stand. Like they were like, all right, peace, Shan. Played a good game. Ricard hugged her.
It was the fakest thing ever from the remaining contestants because they did not like her. They had been complaining about her. They were just trying to get her jury vote by applauding her on the way out.
I've talked about this throughout the season. This season had so much to do with egos. It was crazy. Like this season was a really fun season and the contestants had a really good time, but the people that strategized like wanted every move to be their move and thought their threat level was so high. Right? Like, and they thought so highly of themselves that I feel like they just didn't have an accurate look at the game as a whole. And I think that's something that we get to see at home, and we don't see every game. And like, you know, maybe Charlie didn't have the best relationship with some people on the jury, and that, you know, that was a problem. I don't know. But like, we saw Charlie's game in a way that they didn't, because I think that they were so obsessed with, I have to win this game and I'm going to make this move. Like, we saw 4 people not play an idol when 2 of them knew their names were on the block. 3. When 3 of them knew their names were on the block. You know, like, because, I can just hold it and use it later. Like, I think this season was so much about ego. And it was also a very fun season. I think both those things can be true. I just think Kenzie is the one person that really didn't show an ego.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
not even really at Final Tribal. Like, at Final Tribal, the jury was kind of like pointing out for her the things that she did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It seemed like jury-wise, there was a lot of people who were on the fence, but the people who were for Kenzie were really for Kenzie. And the people who probably came in wanting to vote Charlie or thinking they would vote Charlie did not really stump for him. You know?
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a lot of people like really setting up Charlie's answers or with good questions. Like, people were really throwing Kenzie some really softball questions. And I think like the people that like Tiffany, like she was going to vote for Kenzie, and she said as much. She was like basically said, I came in thinking I was going to vote for someone, and then like I just like the question section just like confirmed that to me. I think Final Tribal Council needs to change badly. The way that it's done is it's so mob mentality and it's so groupthink. Like the least that they could do is go back to the old way where it's one juror talking at a time with the finalists. And it's not people like if
not Q interrupting people.
if Q wants to say something didn't happen that did happen, that's his prerogative. But he should only be able to speak during his time to ask a question. He shouldn't be interjecting on everyone else's things. Tiffany was interjecting on a bunch of stuff on Kenzie's behalf, basically. She says, I'm going to tell everyone time when it's been 30 seconds. Well, you let Kenzie talk for 3 minutes, but you let the other two talk for hardly any time at all.
Did you count it? I thought it was all about the same. I don't know.
I thought it was ridiculous. They really need to examine everything about the final four and down. Like, should we keep doing the fire making challenge? Let's have a serious thought about it. Is having a final three the best way to do this? Or would it be better to have a final two? Or would it be better to not know going in and then you just find out on day 37 or 8 whether it's a final two or final three?
I mean, we all have opinions about that, right? I think a lot of people would say Sari got screwed out of a win when Parvati won, right? Because it went to final two instead of final three. You know, there are a lot of ways like that could be broken down. I don't really know which way's best, but I think like it's so interesting. Did the old like Ponderosa? They all talk to each other in Ponderosa. They've always been able to talk to each other in Ponderosa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it just like, and I guess it's happened in the past, but since they were going individually, it didn't feel like they all came in with kind of the same vibes of everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I liked how they didn't like weirdly divide it up into like outwit, outplay, outlast. Like they've done a lot more recently, which is just like that's just a catchphrase. Like it's not like, it's just a stupid way to divide things out for Final Tribal Council. Yeah.
Right. Like tell me Gabler outwitted everybody on that island. Like, I don't think so. My man. So like, we need to talk about Kenzie. I want to spend like 10 minutes talking about Kenzie because she won this season. I love Kenzie. I think let's gas her up. Okay. What won this season for Kenzie?
Kenzie's probably the best social player of the new era so far.
Yeah.
Like she has the best social game of anyone in the new era. Like people wanted to give her the money. Like I know Dee sort of had a runaway victory, but in my opinion, Charlie was a much like higher win equity competitor against Kenzie than anybody Dee was going against.
Yeah. And I mean, like Austin got 3 votes. So, and Charlie got 3 votes. And I think that just shows, like, Charlie to me is like probably the best strategic second place person we've seen in the new era.
Yeah.
And he only lost to Kenzie because everyone liked her so dang much. Like, that's like a true social game that we don't see a ton. Like, we see people just think like, oh, this person's super likable, I'm going to vote them out. But with the way Kenzie was doing it, like she was doing it kind of with everyone, and she didn't really get in a certain type of way until like it felt like this episode she was really sucking up to certain people, i.e. like Maria, like, oh, it took two of us to beat you, like, you know, all Liz, like, we just knew we had to beat you because, you know, all this stuff. But she did it in such a subtle, genuine way where I don't think there was a person on this season that hated her outside of like Banu. Right? So, I mean,
I honestly don't even know if Banu hated her, but Banu was the first person to recognize how good she was.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Banu had that noted.
He called her a mermaid dragon.
Mermaid dragon. Yeah. And like she was. And when people needed a vote, they got KENZIE on their squad. Like that was the case. Like that's how Charlie got to the end. Right? And I think it was a really interesting 3 because I don't think if you take one of those 3, even Ben, I don't think if you take one of those 3 out of that finale, out of that group, if they make it. Like I think KENZIE's connection with Ben kept her around. Like her strategically whittling that one Ben vote was huge for her. Mm-hmm. And she kept people that she was closest to around outside of Tiff, the one vote that she wasn't, like, the first vote that she wasn't in on. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think KENZIE played a great game, and I think her biggest move, and I don't know if this is as much her move as it is misconceptions by some of the players she was going against. She was never viewed as a threat. Like, she was never in the driver's seat enough, really, to be considered a threat. But, like, the last few weeks, she's been, you know, a really key vote in a lot of these. Like, since the Tiffany vote, KENZIE has been an incredibly important vote that's been kind of in the middle and has decided it. And just to think about Charlie, like, he's probably like, I wish we had voted out KENZIE when we voted out Venus. Yeah. You know, like, I wish we had voted out KENZIE when we voted out Venus, but that's how it goes. Like, it just takes one little slip up from somebody or a group of people, and then, like, the next thing you know, you're going against a KENZIE at Final Tribal, and, like, KENZIE has the gift of gab. Like, Charlie, I thought, very eloquently stated why he should win Survivor, why the moves that he made were good from what we saw. And I'm sure it went on way longer, and he made other clear points about his game. But when KENZIE looks at them, people want to believe her, trust her, they like her, they think she's a good person, and you know, like Q saying my vote is going to the person that I think answers this question the best. And the question is, what are you going to do with the money? Mm-hmm. I think that's the dumbest, worst question. Like, I'm thinking to myself, and I said to Madeline, I'm like, how badly would someone have to answer that question for me to change my vote based on that?
Like, I've been living on the street. Like, living on this island is honestly a vacation for me. if somebody was like, I'm going to take the money and I'm going to, like, invest it, or I'm going to take the money and I'm going to, like, put it to a cause that I vehemently disagree with, or my plan is to go to Vegas and do, like, a 6-week bender. You know, like, those types of things, I might be like, I don't know if we should give this person this money. But, like, other than that, I don't really care what you do with the money. Which is, that's why it's like, I can't believe Q decided on that. And that seems so random of the answers that's the one Q was like, but I get it. Because
Q's an entrepreneur, she's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and Q is also like, I want people to be honest. Like, I want people to be honest. And like maybe to him, like honest is being like, a little like I don't want to say selfish, but like self-providing in that way where you can benefit from the money that you're gonna make. And I think Charlie started off Final Tribal strong and then he kind of like I don't know, went downhill. Like you could see he was getting frustrated to me. But like he answered that question like, my family's first important, so like gonna take care of them. And then like, there are certain causes that I want to donate to. And then I'd like to pay for law school. When it's like I feel like that's not the actual order those events are probably gonna go in, right? Where it's like he kind of just threw in law school, but it's like, nah, like you're probably gonna like pay for law school first. It's gonna be one of the first things before you make just random donations to places. So like maybe Q was like sussing out honesty, and Kenzie was like, yeah, I've been working. I haven't had a lot of money. I'd like the money, and I don't like. I think it's that goes to show like again the jury is so different every time. Like the jury is so different every time, and you only win the game by getting these people that you've known for 20 days to put your name on some parchment for some reason that you probably don't comprehend at the moment.
Yeah. It's
that's the game.
It's crazy, like, at Final Tribal, just how many, like, small moments shifted in Kenzie's favor that could have just as easily switched for Charlie. And, like, it's literally that crazy of a game. And this is what I always said on our podcast, is that like when Gabler won, I said, whoever gets the votes wins. They deserve to win. Gabler deserves to win because they voted for him. I don't feel like about Kenzie like I feel about Gabler. I think Kenzie played a great game. I don't think Gabler played a great game. But I think Kenzie played a great game. She managed her threat level. She schemed and plotted enough. And her social game is unbelievable. Everyone wants to give her the money. Everyone feels good about that. And I'm happy for her. It's a crazy like how razor thin the margin was this season. I think that this was I know the votes were the same as last season. Was that last season, D in Austin?
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I've lived a million lifetimes since that. But yeah, I mean, I know the votes were the same as last season, but it seems like this was by far the closest vote at Final Tribal of the new era. Like we were a razor's edge. We were Maria keeping her promise away from a tie vote with Ben deciding. And I thought,
can you imagine Ben? Time out. Can you imagine Ben having to pick a side for $1 million when he was crying about who to put in fire with Liz?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I thought that was on the table, and that's why I thought like the reason that they were showing us episode after episode Kenzie and Ben's friendship and Kenzie helping Ben with night terrors, the reason that I thought they were showing us that was because it was going to be a tie vote at the end and Ben was going to cast the winning vote for Kenzie. Now,
oh my gosh.
That's not what happened. And I kind of think, based on who we put in fire, I kind of think he would have voted for Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. We don't really know if Charlie asked him to send him, but yeah, I think it's very possible. I think he probably would have said, like, Charlie's been in every vote. I think Charlie's the winner, but we don't know that. Also, I'm so glad that didn't happen because I don't think Ben could literally handle that decision. Like, I think that would haunt him forever. I can't imagine being the third person and having to do that yourself. Like, the jury, they're 1/8 of the process, right? But now it's like, oh, you're 100% of the decision. Who gets $1 million? More money than you've probably ever made in your entire life. Mm-hmm. Who's it going to?
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I think Ben might just have a panic attack and like look at Jeff like, Jeff, I can't do it. You have to choose. Like, I can't figure it out. Jeff, you have to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hats off to Kenzie.
Scenario, honestly, I would love a co-winner. Like if like 2 winners, they split the pot. I'd be cool with that. I know it's called Survivor and not Survivors, but I would love to have both Charlie and Kenzie be winners. Like those are, I mean, I'm for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Kenzie. Great season. I said at episode 1 that we did on this podcast, I love you, girl. Like I hope everything works out for you. It was a joy to watch you play this game. And you know, that's you know what you get for helping others. That's a good message to receive out of Survivor, which is not normally what you get.
Yeah. I'm interested to get your take on this. I thought Kenzie would win because 3 weeks ago, I found out that she was the only contestant that didn't have a cameo, that wasn't on Cameo.
Yeah, because she didn't need that money.
I didn't say that. She also posted a thing about how her and all of her friends were going to a lake house for her 30th birthday, and then she deleted that.
Yeah.
And so I think like this is like outside game, but this has been the most wild a cast has been on social media. Like, I feel like in the future, Survivor is going to crack back down and be like, you can't get a cameo till the season's over. Like, you can't be on Cameo till the season's over. You can't tweet about Survivor at all until the season's over, because it's been a comedy of NDA violations from this cast. Like, to a point of they're joking about it.
Yeah, I feel like the production's taking on a lot of like risk by allowing them to use social media and things like that. Because things are going to come out and they're going to be spoilers, and like magazines or what tabloids are going to report that. That's one thing. But like, I've just decided that I'm not going to follow current cast members. I'll follow them once they're done, but I'm not going to follow current cast members because that's too... It's really funny when I see a tweet of theirs that's referencing the thing that happened tonight, but it's too much. It's a risk for sure. Like Venus was like, had like the nail emoji or whatever one episode, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah. So we've talked about Kenzie, we've talked about Charlie, we've talked about Ben, and we've talked about Maria. We have not talked about Liz. Liz thinks she was gonna like win Survivor.
Dude, that's what I'm telling you, man. It's these egos in this season. Like that's the thing. People were like, you're such a big threat. Anytime anyone said, you are such a big threat, you're playing such a good game, they were like, yeah, I am.
That's why I didn't understand what Ben was doing, putting her in fire in the first place. Like, I think for Ben, it was literally like, I'm better friends with Kenzie and I'm better friends with Charlie. And he just told Liz that she's a threat to make her feel better. But I think he literally had already knew in his mind, Kenzie or Charlie is going to win this season.
Yeah.
Like, I think he already knew that in his mind. So, like, by putting Kenzie in fire, he was like, if this means I'm crowning Charlie, I'm good with that. Like, I think in his mind, he was way past, like, I might win or Liz might win. I think in his mind with the fire making, he was really, and that's partially why he was so beat up about it, is in his mind, he was like, I might be handing this $1 million to somebody in case Liz pulls this out. But of course he tells Liz, like, you're just too big of a threat. And like, I want to hear a post-game interview with Liz where they're like, Did you, after watching it back, do you still think that you were a threat had you gotten to the final three?
Yes. I think her answer to that is yes. I also think if she wasn't a millionaire, she could have won. But she was already a millionaire, and she said that on the first day. So, like, because here's the thing. She was in so many votes. Like, she got out Soda. She got out Tevin. I don't think did she get out Hunter too with Kenzie? I think she did. She was in with Tiff. Like, she's in on all of these votes. Like, she's doing things, you know? Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, people on the jury were like, oh, we just brought Liz in because, like, whatever. And it's like, yeah, but you brought Liz in. Like, you didn't have to do that, you know? Like, I think there was a real argument strategy-wise for Liz. Now, granted, she did have a couple emotional breakdowns and, like, had a vendetta against Q for who knows what reason. But, like, I think there's a real argument there. Now, saying that she for sure would have won is crazy. Saying that Maria for sure would have won is crazy. But all these people are like, oh, yeah, I'm the one to beat. I'm the one to beat. And it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Kenzie's the one to beat. You're looking at it completely backwards. Flip it upside down. Come on. Like, yeah. This season was I loved it. I loved that this season was so messed up about who they thought were threats. Because the two people that were the obvious threats to us socially didn't get voted out.
Yeah. All right, bro. Survivor 50. All returning players. Who from this season has the best chance of being back in your mind, and who do you want to see back in Survivor?
Strategy-wise, Charlie. I think Charlie, if he wants to come back, will have a standing invitation to come back. Like,
really?
I think he dominated the strategy. Like, I think, but in like a not Shan way. I think if I'm Survivor 50, I want to bring different personalities that did different things, right? Like, Shan was like this Godfather situation, and she manipulated votes like crazy. Jesse's kind of the same way. But the thing is, you don't want to bring a bunch of those people back. And I think Charlie presents like a more subtle strategic player than the rest of them. So I think, and they showed him so much in this edit, I think it's very possible that he's going to come back if he wants to. Q, I think Q has a decent chance of coming back from a pure entertainment, eyes, dollars, sets. Yeah, I don't know. Who do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Q, definitely. I'd be a little, like, I think it's going to be hard to get cast for season 50. Because Jeff has said, like, it's not just confined. In his mind, at this point, it's not just confined to new era players. So if it's going to be open to, like, players from the 30s who there hasn't been a returning season since they played, and there's 5 of them, you know, and there's 10 seasons in the new era before 50, that's like less than 2 people per season that are going to be coming back on average. And this is a good season, so I think Q is like a no-brainer. Like, if I'm a casting person, I'm like, we've got to have Q back. My fears is that it'll be Jelensky.
40 several. Season 40 several.
I think Jelensky has been referenced more after their elimination than any pre-merge boot in history.
And he was the first vote out.
Yeah, I mean,
like, he's been referenced about as much as he was actually, like, screen time on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's become a mythological feature, like or mythological character to Jeff. Like,
Yeah.
and they just brought Bruce back. This is what I'm more hopeful for is that they will cast Jelensky again before 50, and that he will not be on season 50. Bring Jelensky back, sure, for season 48, 49. I mean, he's tweeting right now, and he's not in Fiji, so he's not on season 48. Probably not on 49, but maybe not impossible. Or I mean, 40. He's not on 40 several, which is unfortunate. I feel like he should have been on that season.
100%.
I think they might bring him back before 50, but I hope they don't bring him back for 50. 50, like, you need to be iconic to be on season 50 of Survivor.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I think Charlie has a chance. Like, I think his chances, if Kenzie hadn't won, I would say she had a good chance, but she won. So I think she's probably done. She's going to have a baby. Like, I think she's done.
Oh, she's pregnant?
With Survivor. Yes, she's pregnant.
Oh, congrats, Kenzie.
Yes. So I think Q, yes, Charlie has a chance. The way the editors are in love with Maria, maybe she has a chance, but I don't want to see Maria back. There's a Maria on every season.
Yeah, I think that was the art of the edit where like we saw that she was not a perfect person. But like they touched on her being amazing, but then they also touched on her being like a liar. I don't think Maria's coming back. I'm curious, like, do you think for Survivor 50 they just walk it back with like 18 to 20 again? Is there any chance we get like a 30-person season?
Ooh.
Or anything crazy like that? Like, I think a 30-person season would be fun where literally someone gets eliminated every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's not out of... I don't think... Jeff has, like, intentionally not said much and not decided much, seemingly, about it because he wants to kind of get a little bit closer to it and make some decisions. I did see a thing today where he said he's not saying that it will be 26 days forever. Like, there is a world where it could be back to 39 days. For season 50, my main hope is that we go back to 39 days, although I don't really care that much about 39 versus 26. But that would be cool. And then also take the reunion show, like make it actually a reunion show.
For 50.
Like in LA with a live audience.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want. This is not that hard. Like, it's not like you're losing a ton of money. People have to pay for those tickets. So, like, I know it's a big production thing and all of that, but they did it originally because of COVID and they didn't have much of a choice. Well, now shouldn't be a concern. Like, people are in arenas, studios all the time. I think it's probably easier for Jeff and production to just do it there and not have to worry about it. But for season 50, let's go back to the reunion show, the way that we used to do it in LA. Read the votes there. Gives the second place person months to think, maybe I didn't win before that moment happens, so that they can actually lose graciously and not just put on a fake face that they shouldn't have to put on in that moment. Like, you shouldn't be put in that position. We shouldn't be putting people in that position, especially if we would judge them if they didn't react graciously, which I think Jeff would not like if the second place person was like, well, this is BS. Like, I don't want to film this reunion show right now. I'm not happy. I'm mad at the people who didn't vote for me. Like, what? Like, Jeff's been very fortunate that we haven't, in his mind probably, that we haven't had a second place person act like that. It would be great for us viewers.
Yeah.
It would really spice things up. If that was what was happening, I'd be more okay with him doing it this way. But it's just terrible to watch a second place person have to sit there deal. And then sometimes the third place person thought they were getting votes too, which Ben seemed to not think he was, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, sometimes with those, I didn't really love the reunion shows, to be honest with you. Like, when I was watching through, like, a lot of seasons, I would see the reunion show, and I'd be like, I don't care about, like, 75% of the people on stage right now. But if you're having an all-returner season that's hopefully, like, iconic, I would be fine. I would watch that, and I would enjoy that, right? Like, you know, you could relate it back to past seasons where, like, things that we've already seen with this person, or we could talk about, you know, the differences between New Era and when they played. Like, I think there are dynamics there that I would be interested in, and I haven't always been interested in the reunion before.
Yeah, I mean, we've been robbed out of the Austin and Dee follow-up. Are y'all still together? No, actually, Dee just hooked up with Wendell, who had a girlfriend, and she's been posting about it on IG. Like, that's the kind of stuff that the casual viewer doesn't even know happened because they're not following this stuff on social media.
I miss the Sprint sponsorship, you know? Like, they could do, like, the, you know, I guess Sprint isn't a thing anymore. Yeah, they could do the fan favorite, right?
Yeah. Like, Sia needs a moment to give out her cash. Who do you think from this season's getting the Sia money?
And tell me again, was there like a purpose for the Sia money? I remember that happening. I just can't remember.
So originally, the Sia money, she gave it to like Ty from Co Wrong.
It was like an animal thing?
Yeah, like it was kind of like, I'm giving you this money because I love you and I think you're like a really great person, or like maybe you can donate this money to a nonprofit that you like. And then I think over time it just kind of turned into like, I'm going to give $20K to this person, $50K to this person, and just like a random amount of money that Sia decides. So like, I don't remember.
I think
Ben, yeah.
I think Ben would have won it for sure.
Ben for sure.
For some like mental health awareness.
Who else on this season? Like, if KENZIE won, so she probably wouldn't get it, but I feel like she could get it if she hadn't had won. Honestly, yeah, the rest of the jury members, I don't see any of them really getting Sia money. Yeah, probably Ben. Like maybe a Charlie. I don't know.
Nah.
There wasn't any great candidates, but we'll see. I think that she still does that. So it'll be out there soon.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't second place still win $100,000? Is that still a thing?
They do.
Okay. So Charlie can still pay for law school or pay for like most of it.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll still get money.
I don't know how expensive the law school he wants to go to is.
I mean, third place gets money, fourth place gets money, fifth place. Like it stair steps down based on how long you're on the show order. Yeah. But yeah, everybody gets paid a little bit. I'd go. I'd love to go on Survivor. And, I made $40K because I came in 8th place.
And cool. I spent 1 month of my life doing that? Great.
Yeah.
Love that for me. And then I can make a Cameo account and have a salary for the rest of my life? Sick. Love that.
That Cameo money runs out, though. People stop calling for cameos.
It's like and then I'm sure it goes down.
Evie did that Cameo, after their season for me, and then now I doubt they're getting as many Cameo requests as they once were.
So here's the thing. I was bored one day and I went on Cameo and I searched through Survivor players to see how cheap certain people are. Some people are charging over $100 and Q, I think somebody charges $80, from this. There are a few people that charge $80, but there are some that charge $12 or $20. And I was kind of shocked. I mean, I guess not shocked, but there are some real good value ones out there. Like Todd, Survivor China winner Todd. I think he charges like $18. I was like, what? Why am I not calling him up every week? You know, why do we not have like a cameo segment on this podcast? Like that seems silly when these other people that are newer but like were on the show for like a week are charging a lot more money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, though, it's a good deal for them, too. Like, I'm sure that Cameo takes a cut of that, like the app. But I'm sure they get to pocket most of that money. So, like, once you're not really that famous anymore and Survivor has, like, left you in the past and you're charging $25 for a cameo, well, you can make a cameo in 5 minutes. And you can make $20 on a $25 cameo in 5 minutes. Well, heck, I'd be doing that. I'd be trying to get that as much as possible.
That's like cash
Why set the bar
bro?
so high? Yeah, like why set the bar so high? I can make a lot of money doing that, especially once people are like, I pay $200 for that. Yeah. I might pay $18. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I thought, shout out Evie. Thank you so much for doing that like 2 years ago for Christmas. That was really cool. And it was really cool. I'm glad that's a thing now. I'm glad that exists. Kind of gives us like access to them and also on like Twitter and stuff. I'm glad that stuff exists. Although Twitter can kind of be a wasteland sometimes. Survivor Twitter can be. Some of the things I see on like Survivor Twitter are fascinating. Do you follow do you search up like hashtag Survivor ever and just scroll like during an episode or after an episode?
I don't really have to look up hashtag Survivor because like my For You Twitter feed, I pretty much see
It's
everything.
all Survivor. Yeah. It's just fascinating because like I will see an opinion, and I haven't looked tonight, but I'm sure there are people that are like, Charlie got robbed. And then the next one is going to be like, KENZIE Queen, like Charlie had nothing on you. And it's like,
KENZIE's mother. She mothered it.
Yeah. Like it's just fascinating that all these people are coexisting on Twitter and we're able to just share our opinions when like growing up, we were able, like, it was just like us. You know, I wasn't really feel like taking in all the gameplay and stuff. I didn't really have any opinions growing up as a kid. I was just liking Survivor. But now it's like everybody's got their own opinion and thoughts on everything that's going on. And it's just interesting how like access is working out. It's fascinating. Like, yeah. I don't know.
It's crazy. I mean, some of the players get so much hate. Like Soda deleted her account or her ex account because she was getting so much hate. Like, whoa. It's honestly crazy. Like, how badly do things have to be going for you in life that you think it's a appropriate thing to like slide in a F-level celebrities DMs and like cuss them out or body shame them or like seriously? Like,
that's crazy.
Okay, like if we say, wow, like I can't believe Maria did that. That was so cold and it was a little bit like gross to me what happened on the episode tonight. Okay, we're saying that on a podcast. Like, we're not like sending Maria like mail or sending her DMs telling her to like go to hell or like that she's, you know, fill in the blank blankety blank.
Yeah,
I can't believe you would do that to Charlie. Like, Maria, go do your thing, girl. Like,
yeah.
I didn't love the way that your TV character was. Like, you're a TV character to me. Like, and that's it. Like, and I understand that. And I'm not going to like find you in real life or try to message you in real life and tell you how I didn't like your TV character or think that your edit on a TV show was all that you are. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I didn't know that about Soto. That's really sad. Because I feel like, I don't know. I think that's crazy, especially for someone that is not even like destructive at all. You know, like no one that's saying hateful speech about anybody. Nobody that's tearing anybody down. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
And like Soda, like her whole vibe was like, I'm happy. Let's be happy together. Like let's work this out, you know? And like just because someone isn't the type of person that you would want to hang out with 24/7, that's insane to be doing that kind of, having that kind of behavior.
Yeah. And I really feel like it's like the 1% of Survivor fans on X doing that. You know, it's the 1% of Bachelor fans on X that are doing that. It's the 1% of these people who are just ruining things for everyone. It's the same when it comes to politics and everything else. It's that 1% that is probably ruining everything for everyone. It's not just the one thing. They're ruining everything. They're ruining sports. They're these same people that are DMing Soda all this ridiculous stuff are probably also, you know, DMing their college football team's kicker, telling him to like go jump off a cliff because he missed a field goal. Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's just a tangent.
Yeah, that's quite a tangent. That's a new tangent that we have not gone on this podcast. But
I feel like it needs to be said though. Like
it does.
We're on a podcast, so like we say like, oh, like that. I didn't really love like Maria on this show. Okay,
that's great.
That's the end of it. Like we're two brothers talking to each other. We're happy to do it with microphones, but we're not saying anything crazy. And in fact, if we didn't have microphones in front of each other we'd probably say crazier stuff. But like the stuff that you say to your brother or your friend or your whatever at home is not things that you should say to someone online.
And just to be clear, none of what we would say to each other is anything close to that. I just want to put that out there.
No. Yeah.
There's no... Obviously. That's not okay.
Obviously, we wouldn't say anything too crazy.
Yeah, the access goes both ways. One thing that I've noticed a lot more lately in just the world is also like in sports when it comes to the officials. That officials are like getting called out by name on places. Like specifically, I saw a clip of the Pat McAfee show. And he said, this umpire is garbage. Like, what's he doing? He's terrible. And like he called him out for like 5 minutes and they were just sitting there bashing this guy. And it's like, why do you need to name him? Like, why do you, it's like this, he is, I guarantee you he's not fixing the games, first off. Mm-hmm. Okay. Second off, like, why point out this one? Like, you could go through all the stats in umpiring, and you could find people that are messing up. If you're really upset about it, talk to the MLB. You know, like, talk to the MLB. But you're just shouting it at people, and I feel like when there's that kind of behavior, it just instigates other behavior that is more personal to the masses.
Okay, so I'm going to push back on that a little bit. So, is it okay if Pat McAfee talks about how a player did a really bad job? Like, I think if it's your job to talk about the game and who did a good job and who did a bad job, I think refs are on the table. Now, maybe we should do a better job of talking about refs when they did a good job. Like, wow, so-and-so had some great foul calls out there. But that's part of the game, in my opinion. Like, they're not wearing masks. Everyone knows who they are.
To me, the stakes are different. Like, if you yell about LeBron missing a shot or losing to the Nuggets, LeBron signed, like, he's the guy that makes he's made hundreds of millions of dollars. And, like, he's entitled to his opinions, but also I'm sure he has security. Like he, you know, like that's the thing. Like these refs, they're just they're walking around and they're going to get crap from both sides. Like there will be people that stick up for LeBron no matter what. There are fans of those people. There are no fans of these umpires. Like there are no fans of the officials. They're just by themselves and they can't make that much money. So I feel like they're going to get harassed more, especially if we're calling them out. Michael, like,
I just think
I understand.
That's Pat McAfee's job, though, just to talk about the game.
Whatever. You have not seen high school games. You have not seen middle school games where these people are yelling at refs. I have heard stories of elementary rec league soccer parents cursing out like the 15-year-old official. That is not okay. And what he's doing is just saying that behavior is okay.
You think Pat McAfee is saying it's okay to cuss out a 15-year-old referee?
No, but what I'm saying is that it's okay to just like totally like bash a guy for trying. Like there's no malice in these guys. Like that's like, and
I think officials do hold grudges and do make bad calls, sometimes continuously. I think sometimes they can be too prideful and make calls based on their feelings. I'm not going to say that they are a fully impartial group.
So kick them out. So don't have officials. Great. Love that for us.
I'm just
Let's
saying,
not have officials.
You should be able to say, like, if Pat McAfee wants to say a ref sucked today, I don't see what the big deal is. Obviously, he's not telling you to go yell at a 15-year-old kid reffing your soccer team.
I'm just saying.
Like, no one can. You have serious issues if you do that.
People have serious issues.
And you think if Pat McAfee didn't do that, people would not do that?
I think it's a part of the culture now. I think it's part of the culture now to do that. I think that's a symptom of it. Every time, like it happens every time, like a player turns around and complains. I have an idea, and then we can change topics because I don't know how we got on this tangent. I think that every time a basketball player, like a football player, especially basketball, I notice it so much in basketball. Like, they will complain every time down the floor. Whether they actually got hit or not, it doesn't matter. Like, they're just going to complain. And the thing is, I think every time they complain and it's not a foul and it's not actually a foul, or if they make a foul and complain and say, I didn't touch the guy, after the game, they should have to sit with a third party, watch the tape back, and the third party explain them exactly why this is a foul. Like, this is literally a foul in the rule book. Because there's no consequences for just turning to the official and be like, I didn't touch him.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I also don't like the complaining to the refs by the players all the time. I think they sit down with a third party. If the player was wrong and complained, they owe that ref $5,000. Okay? Now, if the ref made the wrong call, they owe the player $100. Okay, the ref is still going to make money in this situation.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
If Luka wants to complain every call, which I haven't watched the game yet, don't tell me I recorded it. But if Luka wants to complain every call,
he did.
If he wants to complain every call, and he's wrong about half of them, okay, he has to give the ref like 5,000 times the amount of calls he was wrong about. For every time Luka was right and the ref was wrong, the ref has to give him $100. All All right, I think that's a fair and equitable way to handle it.
I don't like the financial stakes of it. I just think it'd be funny to have these like athletes that make millions of dollars have to go into a room and like 5 minutes per complaint be walked through by someone else, like why they fouled. And it's like, just because that would be annoying for them. Like it would just be like such a time constraint. It's like, dude, I don't want to do this right now. It's like, sorry, dude. Then you shouldn't have spent the 5 minutes on the floor complaining to the ref.
And if you do the review signal to your bench, it's double or nothing. It's now $10,000.
Hey.
If you're wrong.
Yo, if I'm Charlie tonight, I'm like, hey, can we... Maria, hang on. Go back to the booth. Oh, man. What a season of Survivor, though.
Yeah,
I stand by it. This was probably my favorite New Era season I've seen.
Do you
really
remember how
season.
much you were complaining about it, like at the pre-merge?
I do. Like, I really liked the first episode, and then it was Banu. Those were the only 3 episodes where I'm like, I am so over this right now, you know? But after Banu left, it's just been hitting. And maybe it's just been hitting harder because Banu's gone for me, and it's like that raised the bar like a lot for me. But I really liked it. Like, I don't know. What are your feelings on the season, like compared to 41 through 45?
I thought it was great. I thought that production got out of their own way a lot more than they've been in the New Era. And they trusted that they had casted a good group that was going to provide entertaining television. And they did. They didn't do so many journeys. Do you remember all those journeys that they were doing? Like, there was 2. I mean, there was some journeys pre-merge, but post-merge, no journeys. There was idols, but they didn't get played.
Yeah, there was 1 extra vote played, I think. And that's it.
Yeah. If they would just stop doing the wager your vote, risk your vote, extra vote, cut that out, I think they're really close to having it like really in a really good situation. So I thought production did a great job with casting. Production did a great job getting out of their own way with some of these silly advantages. No knowledge is power, none of that type of stuff. So I liked that a lot. I thought that the boot order, which like boot order to me determines so much of how much we enjoy a season. Like to have the boot order that we have, instead of having like, just imagine if like we had gotten down to the end and it had been like Soda, Hunter, Ben, Venus, like in the finale. Like, we're talking about a completely different show. Like the best character that we lost too early was Tevin. I think Tevin had a lot more to offer. But at the same time, like, when Tevin went home, I was okay with it because I was like, I think we've seen enough Tevin. Like, Tevin got his time. Tevin got his airtime. Tevin got to, like, cold open the season with his speech about Survivor. Like, we got, Charlie and Maria were both in it. The duo that we spent a lot of time with, that was good TV. They made it to the end. Q made it to the, really last far. Episode before the finale. Venus made it to the last episode before that. KENZIE is a great winner, someone that we can lift up. I thought it was just a really good season. I'm struggling to think of a New Era season I would put on top of it right now. I don't think I would put a New Era season above it.
Wow. Yeah. Like, what would your list be? I think for me, it would be 46, 44, 41, 45, 42-43.
I'm struggling to think of like which season was which.
So 46, KENZIE wins.
Right.
45, D wins.
Right.
44, Jam wins. 43, Gabler wins. 42, Marianne wins. And 41, Erica wins.
I'm going to say 46 was my favorite. 44, my second favorite. 41, my third favorite. 43 after that. 40.
You're missing 5 and 2. So Marianne and D.
I'm struggling to. I know I liked 45 in the moment, but I'm struggling to remember what I liked about it.
I liked the main alliance stuck together for almost the whole season.
It was like Austin, Drew, Julie, D.
Yeah.
I remember like in that season, I liked whoever they were going against more. There was like other people that I was like, I hope that they can get rid of the Reba
tribe
group. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope Lulu can beat Reba. They didn't. So,
yeah. So do you like 42 and then 45?
Yeah, I'll say 42 and then 45.
Yeah.
But honestly, like people bash the new era. Like there's been a lot. I've enjoyed every season. I've enjoyed every season since the new era started.
Like this is way above Island of the Idols. Like,
oh my gosh,
mountains. Yeah. I don't know. Any last thoughts
Edge of
on this season of
Extinction
Survivor?
also sucked.
Yeah. I kind of liked it. I thought it was entertaining, but yeah, I like the new era better.
And there's a lot of things about Winners at War that I didn't love, but with that cast, it was still a top 10 season. But like, I feel like productions tried to screw it up really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll see how the future goes. I mean, well, hopefully 50 will be good. Do you have any closing thoughts on season 46?
Nope.
All right. Only last one. It'll be, hey, KENZIE, can you find me an idol, please? Unbelievable what that was this season. Unbelievable.
What?
When Banu asked people to find him idols for him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Banu.
What a ride it has been. Oh my gosh. I wonder what he's up to now. I didn't see him on Cameo, so. Yeah. Man. Great season, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. If you're listening to this and like, this has been a long episode, so thanks for staying around for the bonus content and the reunion episode of the season. And we'll see you next time, which will be in the fall. Pretty crazy. I don't know when it starts, probably like September. Does that sound right?
Late September. Yeah.
Late September, yeah. So just 4 short months away, and we will get to do this all over again. New cast, new season, new era. And we're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a blessing to do this with you every week, Michael. And it's great to talk Survivor and a lot of other things that are interweaved throughout.
Yeah, man, it's been really fun. A pleasure.
Yeah. So we will see y'all next time for season 46 of Survivor. The Clingers have spoken.
See ya.